The magic of movie stars, mega movie stars, is something that you can rarely describe in words, but you can always, always experience. I am so privileged to experience this magic of two incredible, phenomenal forces of nature. Now, he is a legacy movie star, a global phenomenon, but at its heart, a bona fide artist, a terrific actor. She puts the act in actor and has wowed critics and audiences across the world, and literally with each performance, and since she walked the highway of Hindi cinema, has won so many hearts. I am privileged to introduce to you Alia Bhatt and Junior NTR in conversation with me. All right. Okay, wow. So we have...
Just 1 second, we will give a little backstory, because a minute ago you're like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to start this, I don't know what I'm going to say, and then now you've started. You've given a speech, right?
You don't know I'm a talk show host and this is what I do for a living.
I do, but you just didn't know what to say and suddenly
it does, my thoughts run and then I say things.
It's too good.
That's
difficult.
It's too good.
Yeah, but listen, I still
don't
have the talent that both of you have. First, let's just address that we have such deep commonality. But there's one part that I'm going to ask as a quick question, that there's one other aspect that we all have in common that we will chat about later. Firstly, RRR happened. And I still remember the moment when Alia signed that film, how happy I was that she was working with Rajamouli sir. Like, I was like, oh my God, like this is like the biggest moment ever. Then both of you collaborated on that film. I had the privilege of collaborating with you on Devara and presenting the film to the Hindi audience, which is so amazing because my journey started with Rajamouli sir, way back with Bahubali 1. I, of course, introduced Alia to the movies. So there is Rajamouli sir and there is Devara, there's Jigra coming up, and then there's me sitting right in the middle of it all. I really feel like there is such amazement. But there is one other commonality that you have with Alia. Do you know what that is? You know what that is?
No.
He will eternally be the student number 1 and you will always be student of the year.
That's true. Yeah, we discussed this.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember during RRR promotions also we discussed this.
So I just thought of
nice.
it. I just thought of it, and I was like, "Wow, there's something else that we have in common. We have the student factor in common." Tara, thank you so much for being in conversation with us. Tell me, what did you feel like when you first met Alia on the sets of RRR? What was that experience?
Well, see, it was the first time I'm actually, this whole big crossover.
Yeah.
Ka jo bhoot chad gaya na sir hame. It started there.
Yeah.
And I've always admired her work, and I've said it, and I'll say it again, that she's one of the finest actors we have, hands down. And I was telling her the moment I walked in, I was like, I don't know when I saw Jigra's trailer, was it the song, hearing the song, was I tearing up for that? Or was it just looking at Alia's performance? And the first few seconds, she could just take me away from where I am into the world of Jigra. And it's not very, it's not simple, it's not easy, for somebody to just take the audience away from, their preliminary source and take them into this beautiful world of acting.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, I've always said that you can never train somebody to act. It just comes. And I think she's one of those phenomenal actors we have, and the moment I saw her at the sets of RRR, so for me it was not Alia Bhatt from the North film industry, but for me it was one of my favorite actors I'm looking at, and I think we just started off from there, and I think we share a wonderful bond today. I can't imagine any other friend in Bombay other than Alia. Wow. And of course, after Alia came Ranbir.
Yeah.
So it was not Ranbir and me weren't friends. It was me and Alia first, and then Ranbir followed. Yeah. So, so it's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. And Alia, I know that you must have heard so much about the mega movie stardom of Junior NTR, before you went on that set. And I remember that when you went on, we were like, when she was going to shoot for RRR, it was like, she's going, like, we have to give her a send-off. She's going into this amazing, magical world of SS Rajamouli. And I was like, so what was your takeaway when you finally faced the camera? Because before I say, I've heard all about him and how he operates on set. So Ayan Mukherjee is directing, who has, I must say, has the privilege of directing directing him in
Yeah.
War 2, has said he's like Speedy Gonzalez. He comes and makes it all happen. He's saying he just does it and it's all done and he's brilliant and it's done. It's over. And and Ayan is a ponderer. He's a thinker. He's he just sits and everything. He's a lot of thought. So for him, you're the opposite of his energy. What was your experience when you performed with him in RRR?
So I think even before I had signed on to do RRR, when the announcement of RRR came, it was just the image of Rajamouli sir, Tarak and Ram Charan together. I think that was like there was an anticipation in general for everybody. Little did I know that I would be walking onto that set one day. And of course, like you rightfully mentioned, I'd heard so much, about the way Tarak is, his stardom. So I was naturally expecting to be severely intimidated. I was like, okay, I'm going to walk on set and I'm going to forget all my lines that I've been rehearsing for 1 year.
Yeah.
And my first day on shoot was that big scene where we meet for the first time and, where our characters don't know who each other are. And it was, so it was quite like the big scene to start with. But
it was pretty intense.
It was pretty intense. But contrary to what I had imagined, he was not intimidating at all. In fact, he was really helpful, very quiet. So I was quiet. In fact, I was so shocked of how quiet that set was. Karan, the shot started, cut. It was pin drop silence. And I was like, why isn't anybody screaming and shouting? Like, what's going on? No, but it was wonderful. And ever since that, like we shot that scene for over a couple of days. And then through the days, we became more and more friendly, chatting off camera, talking about the process. I was, of course, very nervous, but Tarak made me very comfortable. And whenever I was even a little bit fumbling or not sure, he would just naturally correct me. And of course, when Ayan saying he's Speedy Gonzalez means like the energy is buzzing. But what I love about him as an actor is that he is so unpredictable. Like, even though I couldn't understand the language, when I see it in his eyes, what he's saying it's all happening from here. And like, Rajamouli sir would give him a beat and give him some, direction or something like that. You're like, yeah. And then you can see it's bursting out of him to give what the director has asked for.
Yeah.
So I would always, like in my close-ups, like in his close-ups and my OTS, I was only observing what he was doing and what was going to come after that, because it's such a big learning experience for me as well. And then really we got very friendly and we've had like
some great chats.
Yeah. And we had such a good time during the motions.
Remember we all stepped out for dinner in Bombay. It felt so warm and wonderful that we had like a Devara, Brahmastra, war kind of a coming together. And it was like we all had dinner at this restaurant that was seating only 12 and we were 12 of us. And it just felt like everyone knew each other from way back.
No, I will tell you one story. Because this also happened, since we're here, because this is Devara ka Jigra, Devara into Jigra. This is some sort of crossover love that we're sharing with
I
each
really
other.
want to know, who announced the title first? Jigra or Devara?
Devara.
I think it was Devara.
Then came in Jigra.
Then came in Jigra. I think we put on the unit. Devara already had it.
But that's actually a nice coincidence, sir. When you have an R and R.
Yeah.
Devara and Jigra sounds like each other, and then we were also coming in the same window. Who would have imagined?
Exactly.
But I'm saying this love started with Tarak very graciously coming to the Brahmastra, sort of press meet.
Yes.
In Hyderabad. And there was, I remember I was fully pregnant at that time, and Tarak was like, yeah, we'll do the event, but then after that you all have to come to my house for dinner.
Yeah.
And we had such a warm evening on that terrace. I remember eating dinner and like chatting, and that was the first time that we actually discussed possible baby names in front of everybody. I remember. Ranbir and I were like, if it's a girl, it'll be this. If it's a boy, it'll be this. And we were all like, raising our glass to like.
So was Raha the name discussed that night?
We discussed.
Yes,
we had names picked out.
And I started praying, I wish it was Raha. I wish it was Raha. And finally,
What a
finally
beautiful name. What a beautiful name. You know what I find absolutely intriguing about, movie stars, specifically, in the brand of cinema that you have done and across decades now, is that there is a kind of fine line between always projecting movie stardom and yet giving that performance. And I think you've done that effortlessly, always, that you've not only considered one of the biggest movie stars, but also an absolutely terrific actor. Now, do you have to kind of straddle that at times, that you know that you are also an artist, you're giving your all, your heart, your emotion to that scene, but there is a certain perception of how you have to be, a larger-than-life persona that has to always penetrate through celluloid. Is there always like that tussle within you, or is just in your DNA to just be be the way you are, and then it comes out all effortlessly?
I think it's very natural, sir, for any actor. The moment you start calculating, your image versus your want,
Yeah.
I don't think they can never gel together.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this multiple times in my career. So I've said this many a times that there was this point where this whole image, this whole want of fans and what they want, it was very strenuous for me
Yeah.
as an actor. And then I
can imagine.
Yeah, I just couldn't straight. I mean, like, think straight. So that's when, Abhay happened, my first
Yeah.
child, and something about that experience of being a father has made me become naive all over again. And I think for an actor, what's the most important thing is that how do you become naive? How do you disown or unknow things? Because at that moment when you have to perform, I really think that you don't need to experience it.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't ever experienced it, but how do you deliver it? For that, I think there needs to be a lot of naiveness in an actor. And that comes only when you, just take things off your brain.
Yeah.
And for me, when I was, of course, I was struggling for Abhay to, look at me and call me, Papa, or call me Nana. So I wanted him to do that. So that urge in me somewhere just took this whole NTR ka image away from me. And I said, wow, this whole thing is just gone from my head. So I said, what if I try to incorporate it into my movies?
Right.
So that's when my journey started as an actor.
As an artist.
It's like, Kiyar, just for me, it gets very boring for some, if I have to just give this a reaction, it's just useless, it's meaningless. So I started putting my foot down and, started communicating, saying that, no, I really don't think this will work. Then, we started discussing, and then the discussion started happening. So I opened up as an artist.
Right.
That made it easier for me to understand myself more as an actor.
As an actor.
So every time I felt that, यार घर से निकल रहा हूं मैं, तो मुझे कुछ excitement factor चाहिए. क्योंकि already 2 exciting factors है, अभय and भार्गव. इनसे बड़ा exciting factor क्या हो सकता है? तो वो है मेरे movies. अगर वो excitement नहीं मिल रहा है, तो घर में बैठूंगा मैं. I'll sit at home. I don't need to work.
Always very well. Alia, taking from where Tarak just mentioned about, how things moved in his head after the birth of Abhay, has the birth of Raha and you being a mother, which is, I can't even imagine the experience. I mean, what like anybody goes through, because having that energy, that maternal energy. Do you think yourself, and have you thought about this, has that somewhere impacted you as an artist when you're facing the camera today?
Oh yeah.
From when pre-Raha?
Most definitely. Most definitely. And I'm not just saying this because I'm promoting Jigra, genuinely. Swear with all my heart. When I signed Jigra, I think I was in my tigress mode. I was in my most protective, no one come near her mode.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
when I saw that trailer.
That was the energy. And it was like, that's why I always say destiny, luck, life has so much to play in things going a certain way for you. Forget the fate of Jigra. The fact that it came to me also, I was like, wow, what is the timing of this? That I'm feeling this way and it came. And it had all of those things laced over it. So for sure, I don't think I'm the same person. I don't want to be the same person. Life has so much more meaning. And I feel like actors can get really self-obsessed if they're always constantly thinking about themselves. Now, when there's another being in your life, suddenly it's like, oh, Alia, who? Raha. And Alia's fine, comes in and out. But the focus is on her, and that feeling of nurturing and feeling of my mind always being there is something that will never change now.
And also the other thing is the pressure. He said that he abandoned that pressure because it became about if he's feeling the excitement, he's going to get onto that set. You're always touted as this best actor of our times in Hindi cinema. A lot of it is written, a lot of it is expressed, a lot of it sometimes is a burden to carry. Is it really? Is it when you go and face the camera, do you come with that baggage or are you able to shed it off?
No, I don't think I come with that baggage. I think definitely when the film is up for release, you get a bit of pressure. You get a bit of feeling because tab sab kuch blind
But
pe aa
that's
jata
more
hai
as
na.
a movie star and not as an artist.
No,
really.
then it's more like no report card aa jayega, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But on set and going to set is all about the actor, like the acting process, being directed by a director, collaborating with the team, and I just feel very grateful to be in that moment every day.
Yeah.
You know, I love that process of collaborating, especially when, you know, especially with Vasan, I had a blast. He's such a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
So I think about that.
But we spoke about Vasan, and I'm going to get back to him. But I want to speak about your collaboration. This is your second collaboration
With Shiva.
With Shiva. Janata Garage was a massive, massive hit. It was touted as one of your best performances. And then now you're back with Devara. And I've had, of course, we've all seen the trailer, and it's magnificent.
You actually saw more than the trailers.
I've seen
You
more than the
witnessed-
trailer, but I'm
you've seen
trying not
more
to
than the trailer.
reveal any spoilers about anything here, because I was okay. So now you've said it. I'm not saying it. So I went to Hyderabad. Anil and me, we went. Apurva, Anil and I went to Hyderabad. We saw about 30 to 45 minutes of the material, and I was like blown away, because it's a totally different world. Like, he's taken us into, and I won't say anything for people who haven't seen any material, but like, I just want to say that world is new. It's totally new, where there are elements that are so impactful when you see it. And we'll take a beat and talk about how brilliant Saif is as well. But when I saw it, and every time he faces the camera as the character, as Devara, and there is a certain kind of like magic that just happens. But is that largely, and I felt like I've seen all your work, and I felt like, but with Shiva, there is something special. There's something that he taps into you that comes right out. Like, and I've seen that in Janata Garage, and I saw that again in Devara. What was your experience working with him?
So we've been friends for quite a long time. We've been friends for I think about 18, 17 years. So our journey started with a movie called Brindavanam. Shiva was predominantly the writer for many super hit movies in Telugu, in Telugu cinema. So we started as friends because he was the writer for Brindavanam. And that's when I understood there's so much potential in him to become a director. And then one fine day, he started off with this movie called Mirchi with Prabhas, which was a super duper hit.
Yes.
And then he went to do Srimantru, which was a super duper hit. Then he did Janata Garage, super hit. Then he did Bharatan Nenu, super hit. But what's so common in all the 4 movies he's done is that this guy carries a kind of a responsibility towards the society. He wants to probably give something back to the society with his movies. So there is this underlying message, and sometimes and he's not too preachy. When you want to give a message-oriented movie, as we call it, it tends to become very preachy.
Correct.
But he's just found this art of making this preachy movie into a very commercially viable, exciting, product. That's his trait. So when we collaborated for Devara, I just see in commercial mainstream film, you always have the protagonist, the hero as we call him, comes out for the downtrodden.
Correct.
People who do not have courage, gives them that courage and takes them forward. But this is such a flip where the protagonist comes from not the downtrodden, but comes from the most powerful and says, यार भाई, ज़्यादा courage भी ठीक नहीं है. थोड़ा सा fear रहना चाहिए हमको. Fear is good. You need to have that. See, responsibility comes from fear.
Yes.
So I just love the way he brought this idea that, everybody should have a certain amount of fear. Yes, I believe in it. कि अगर ज़्यादा भी courageous हो गए ना, sir, so there is no stopping
lose
humans.
perspective as well.
Humans, we are humans. We are unstoppable. We need to have that kind of responsibility within us.
Yeah.
I just love the way he brought about this message, but with so much padded with a fictitious, over the top world, and that excited me. And I felt that, this is a movie I would like to do after RRR.
Yes.
Because after RRR, you need to have that kind of an excitement.
Correct.
At a plot level, it needs to excite you, and that's how we started off with Devara. And I don't know, we never thought that we're going to make this movie into 2 parts. I said, Shiva, don't stop. Just keep writing because there's so many characters. You've mentioned about
Yes.
Saif.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saif sir's character is probably, I don't know, I really got so excited seeing him when I was watching the whole movie. I just remember that immediately when I saw the movie, when I saw his performance, I went back to Omkara.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought when I saw
Yeah?
it. It gives you that Omkara vibe.
He
He
gives
is
you that Omkara
outstanding.
vibe, and he
Yeah.
was outstanding in that movie. And I don't remember when I actually saw him that fabulous. And he's and there's so many characters which we just couldn't stop from developing.
Yeah.
So वो develop होते गया sir. And
Have
then
you already shot part 2?
well
A large
a
chunk
bit,
of it. Okay.
a bit. So we went on, and finally we shot, and all of a sudden we get an alert from the editor, our editor Srikar Prasad. He tells us that, you know what? By the time you finished your first half, we still haven't finished the first half. You've already got a length of 5 hours. I was like, what?
What?
5 hours? Are you kidding me? Because we just didn't realize. We just fell in love with that movie.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, you know, we need to check ourselves. Stop it. Let's write our story. Let's finish our story. Let's see where, what, how, where we can, you know, cut, chuck, or redevelop. Let's see. And that's when I think it was a very conscious decision.
Are you a producer on the film too?
Oh, well, NTR Arts, that's my brother's company. Kalyan Ram is my brother's.
So it's family, as
Yeah,
is,
it's
as
family,
is like now her sister producing Jigar.
Yeah, no, but like I'm curious, like whether you were sitting in on the edit process and all through it.
Yes,
through in-
yes. We as a team were in it. And Karan
No, I
sir
could tell
knows a lot.
when I was there, he was so passionately describing
No, of
everything. Like, you know,
course.
I could tell that he's been part of every beat
Yeah.
of Devara. Like it's now in his
Zehen.
like his puri tarah bas chuka hai abhi, like, you know, it's got there.
Yes, yes.
No, but that director and actor collaboration is the most important association for the success of any feature film, any motion movie. It is really about how you can collaborate with the director. So back to Vasan, great energy, great guy, such a good person. Like when I met him, I just fell in love with him. I was on the sets with Vasan Bala of a film that I've acted in called Bombay Velvet, which stars your husband, and I was the antagonist of all things. We won't get into any of that, but that's the first time I met Vasan and just loved everything that he's done right after that. And I just knew that the moment Alia would hear this film, she would sign this film. This is the film I knew she would do. And she is, of course, very discerning with her choices, but this is the one film I knew that, you know, you would just bite into. Vasan Bala, what is what we don't know about him and you?
I think that we are very in sync.
Yeah.
And it started very much from the first, before we even started filming. I remember I was in New York and we were putting out the announcement of the film. And I was like, hey, do you want to do like an anime something? You know, like something to do with this like anime kind of vibe, just to put a really cool visual. I don't know why I said that. And then he just sent me the work in progress unit. We were already on it.
Oh, wow.
That was just the beginning. After that, lots of things where it just happened where before the shot only, I'm like, Vasan, I'm thinking body language. And he said, haan, wahi hai. He knew what I was going to say, what I was going to do before I was going to do it. So I think that we're very much in sync. That I have a lot of respect for his process, but also a lot of fondness for his mind. And I say, use the word fondness is because I feel it's so open to different avenues. It's never it's never sort of closed in. He's so open, but at the same time, his instinct is so strong. So it's not like if I come with every idea, he's taking every idea. He's like, no, she'll do this, but she won't do this. So the process was just, it was very exciting. It was never just a one-note day. It went through so many different notes. And even now, going through the edit and the post and all that, of course, he's doing all the heavy lifting. We are sitting and basically just kind of coming in, giving thoughts and opinions whenever we have to do it. But I've always believed that this is a director's medium. It's a filmmaker's medium. And if the filmmaker has not given their heart, soul, everything, and if that voice is not communicating, then something always goes off with the film. And I really feel like this, even the teaser was cut by Vasan. The teaser trailer was cut by Vasan because I'm like, Vasan, nobody else would be able to communicate what you have in your mind. So I can go on and on talking about him. I really have a lot of love for this
Incredible.
guy.
And I think we have two incredible filmmakers.
And I also have to credit his wife, Prerna,
Yes, Prerna.
who's
She's
also the editor on the
film.
film.
Wow.
So their combination is also just magical.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I always wonder how that happens because, you know, like a husband-wife in an edit room, like, I mean, if I was editing a film, even with a friend, I might have murdered that person.
But you tell me, sir, who takes over? Does a director take over the editor or the editor takes over the director? Because I'm a firm believer of something that films are definitely, yes, they're written,
But they're
made on the edit tables.
Agreed.
See,
But who takes over?
See, according to me, and I have a very strong belief in this, and I don't know if the other filmmakers will agree with me, but see, an editor is many things. An editor is the final stop, okay? Because all takes come to the editor. Everything, every shot comes to the editor. They are the final decision makers, so their instinct has to be bang on. They also have to be screenplay writers. They have to be narrative structurers. They have to be everything. I believe a director should not be in an edit room. I believe very strongly. So that, of course, very different from Vasan's experience or many other filmmakers who
But
were
he was
working.
not in the edit apparently until...
So I don't know exactly how he went about it. I don't sit in the edit room. I said, show me, because I'm too attached to every shot. I'm attached to each moment. I will remember a take very differently. We take 20 takes sometimes. But how many times is the 20th take used?
I know.
You know, how many times? Like, I know in my experience of like now 26 years of directing movies, I think rarely has the last take been used. It's always because the actor's instinct is so strong. Whatever comes in the beginning. Then you start indulging yourself. So I believe most directors who get stuck in that edit room will always be just stuck, and that film will always have issues because there will be there. So I think the editor should take over. Like it should be, and therefore the editor has to
So you believe
have.
that too?
Yeah. And that's a good combination. Then the wife's taking over. The husband, good.
Obviously. Yeah, of course. And more power to her if she takes over. Like she
All
deserves
power to her, yes.
Absolutely. And that process is, like, I can't believe that directors are sitting on every take, every shot. I'm like, dude, you were on that set.
But that again, that's that love. You know, I think every filmmaker
Every
has
process
this,
is different.
कि यार लड़की को जब विदा कर रहे हो ना सर, वो जो feeling आता है ना एक बाप को.
Just like as parents, I say that there will come a time where you will have to let go.
You have to.
So just as your film is your baby, you at one point, now it's gone to someone else's hands, it'll come back to you only.
Back to you, yeah.
But at that point in time, you need to let go and understand that. Now, preparation. Contrary to what happens a lot in Hindi cinema, I know that you are, and many other actors, you know, who are mega stars in Telugu cinema also don't entirely believe in prep, in this word prep. They don't understand that what are you doing for 1 month? Like, you know, what about the magic of the moment? Isn't that gone? I'm sure you're a believer of that, am I right?
Yes, true. See, as I said, too much of prep again does not give you the chance or the avenues to explore yourself. You become so rigid. So I say the less we prep, I mean, like, I don't know. See, South India, especially, South Indian films have always been very chaotically organized.
Nice. Yeah, that's a very nicely the way to put it.
I mean, like, see, if there's no chaos, we are not organized.
Yeah.
So we still have that thing that कि यार कल Prince जाना है. The director, the whole team is still sitting that एक और R दीजिए ना और थोड़ा सा edit में थोड़ा सा correction करना है. So it's that the clock is ticking. The Prince have to be delivered.
Yes.
And the content has to be delivered, but you're still doing something with your movie. You are shooting for a crazy sequence tomorrow, and everybody is so chill. We're not prepping at all. We know what needs to be done. I think it's that chaos which brings a big, great amount of organization. And somewhere I think that makes us more instinctive also, sir.
As artists.
As artists. And I believe in spot development also, no matter kitna bhi you've researched, you've written so much, but when you're there, you know, as a director, when your actor is giving something beyond what you've written, are you going to take it or not? Because this was the experience I had with Hindi cinema also. Because when I was shooting for War, Ayan did not know what's going to come. Because he was trying to bring it out from me. कि ये कैसे आने वाला है? I was like, Ayan, I'm very instinctive.
आ जाएगा.
आ जाएगा वो. कुछ ना कुछ आ जाएगा. Ayan was like, कुछ ना कुछ? हाँ. कुछ ना कुछ आ जाएगा. He's not used to this कुछ ना कुछ.
He loves prep.
He loves prep. And I am completely the opposite.
Yeah.
And then Adi sir was there in between. He was like, it's okay. I get it.
Because he also comes from the same school that I come from his school because he's my mentor. And I don't know when I last prepped with any. I didn't prep with them for Student of the Year. Like we went and we did some workshop.
No, we did little workshop.
Very little, Alia. We
But
sat
that
and
also
spoke
could be
about
like
each other's personal lives. in
that
those
was
12 days.
probably because
there
they
was
were new.
nothing. I
That
mean,
was-
I
that
mean,
was-
we've done
We were
Rocky,
too
Rocky or
raw.
Rani. What prep I did?
No,
we
Rocky
did
Rani
nothing.
you didn't
We
even
did, I don't believe in that. But I know that there are filmmakers, specifically when very ambitious tentpole films. You have to kind of put in some kind of work, or you feel the need to. And I haven't made that big action spectacle where you have to prep that much. I've made human, emotional love stories, which I feel have to be instinctive. But Alia, are you a firm believer of going with that preparation, or you also much like Tarak, like live in the moment?
No, so I think it's really varies, because I feel like there's some films perhaps require, if you're learning a particular dialect, if you
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
maybe a dance form,
Yeah,
and all,
it's-
that kind of prep is necessary for the character. But if you ask me, my preferred route, I always prefer to do, like in a film like Jigra, I didn't have any prep. In fact, even Vasan prefers to not prep.
Yeah.
Because there's no need. It's kind of straight arrow, and you have to come and feel it and kind of understand the gist of the vibe. And like he gave me one brief, just perform the whole film like she has 99.9 temperature. कि इतना ही देना है,
हाँ.
उससे और ज्यादा टाइम नहीं कुछ और देने के लिए.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What a great way of describing.
99.9 temperature. So that was one thing. And in fact, I'm also like Mashada, I don't even like to do rehearsals.
Yeah.
Very often I'm like, okay, because I'll give it. Then either you tell me like not to do
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then I won't give it.
I can't bear rehearsals.
I can't.
I'm like, I can't, I mean, I just feel like in a digital era, just roll, yeah. Like what rehearsal? Like, you're not losing magazine, you're not losing film. It's digital, like just roll. What is the problem?
My thing is tick, 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 just roll it,
yeah,
roll
yeah.
it.
Khatam karo.
But again, my other side of my brain tells me is that if I just adapt to each director's process, then my process will also change with every film. So I'm
Probably,
open to
yeah.
doing that. If the director wants me to prep hard, I'll go for it. If the director says no, I say cool.
Yeah.
My preferred route is obviously less is more.
Jigra is an emotional prison escape drama. How else should I describe it? It's emotional, it's a brother-sister bond, it's a prison
Emotional
escape.
thriller drama.
Emotional thriller drama. How would you describe Devara? I mean, apart from the fact that it's crazy
No, but
in the
it's-
most amazing way.
Sir, for me, I love drama.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So Devara is a humongous, I would say, dramatic experience.
Nice.
And cinematically
dramatic
experience.
Cinematically
Dramatic.
gigantic,
dramatic experience. And ultimately, sir, what Devara is, there's so much, there's this vast canvas
Yeah.
it has. But the root emotion of Devara is just about a father and son.
Yes.
It's that emotion which it boils down to, and that is the biggest drama.
And that is exactly what Jigra is. It's at heart, it's a brother-sister film.
Beautiful.
The
So
core.
yeah,
This is
so
a father-son.
It's a father-son,
film
and that's
this
a
is
brother-sister.
Yeah. It is exactly that. It is exactly that in abundance. Both of you have worked with new energies in these very special movies that we're talking about, Devara and Jigra. You worked with Janhvi Kapoor and Saif, and you worked with Vedang right now. And I just felt your grandfather and Sridevi have done so many
Yes,
blockbusters.
yes,
And I said, her first film has to be with you. I just felt like it has to be, that legacy has to go on. And how was that experience? Because Janhvi
You tell me,
also...
sir. You've seen
she's-
more than just the trailer. So
She's-
you tell me how.
Listen, I can tell you one thing about Janhvi, having known her ever since, like for very many years. This is what she's been dying to do from day one.
And I
She's
can
been
see
dying
that.
to do that tadakta bhadakta Gana.
I
She's
could
enjoying
see that when
herself.
she came to the location, sir, and she was hungry.
Yeah.
She was hungry, and I think she still is. She was hungry to give her best. There was so much of nervousness. There was a lot of unpredictability in her. She didn't understand. There was this fear of dancing. There was the fear of acting, the fear of adjusting, the fear of lines.
Yeah.
There was so much happening within that girl, and the first shot, she came and she gave. She just killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, with so much pressure, it was a delight seeing her open up on camera.
Yeah.
The lines were so seamless. I mean, she said her dialogues in Telugu.
Yes.
Though she didn't dub for the movie in Telugu.
Yeah.
And Shiva was sitting somewhere. He was looking at the monitor, and it was my OS and her close up. And so So she started off, it was like a 1.5 page scene between us. It was a small scene, but she had a lot of dialogues. She started off. So I gave her the cue. She gave me back the cue and I gave her the cue. And we've just finished the whole, she just said the whole lines of the 1.5 pages dialogue on the OS. And Shiva was like, okay, what the hell just happened? And Shiva was like, okay, 1 second, let me check. So I turned around and I just yelled at Shiva saying, there's no check, it's okay, bhai. Okay, kar lo aap. She's given a fabulous performance. Shiva was actually shocked. He was not believing that she actually performed. I mean, there is this side of her which I think has not been captured. And with this platform, I think people will see a very different Janhvi. And yes, have to agree that she definitely looks like her mother.
Yes.
In many angles.
And to match step with you, I mean, is not easy.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was giving it.
But
she was giving it.
And she came back after her.
Yes, she was unwell. She was in
unwell.
hospital.
She was hospitalized for
a week. And she had to do this song.
And then she comes back and does after that the Kavadam, the Dawoodi song.
Dawoodi, yeah, correct. She's super. I mean, the Yuta outstanding only, but even I was like, yeah, she's really enjoying it.
She's really enjoyed it.
And you worked with Vedang. Now, Vedang had done just one feature film, Archie's. You have not known him, never met him, you've not interacted with him. No. And now you're playing this protective sister, where you have to really, really give all your heart, emotion, everything to that energy. What was that like? Because firstly, he had to get over his awe because, of course, he was acting with you and he was like really stressed, for various reasons. Because there is a, kind of an image you have of an artist of this caliber. I'm sure you must have made it very easy for him right from the beginning.
I'm a kind soul.
Yes, you are.
No, it was honestly actually again because we didn't have much time, we had to get into it, sort of take the bull by its horns immediately, and we had many things to do on day one. We literally had multiple scenes. Vedang is fabulous. He's amazing. Like, I don't think he knows how amazing he is. And number one, I told him when we did a very important scene and he was crying, I said, one good thing is you cry very prettily, and that's a good thing for a Hindi film hero.
Yeah,
you do good when you cry.
Yeah.
No, but he's so hardworking. He's also very instinctive, but he also has some sort of prep. He reminded me a lot of Ranveer Singh, and I told him this as well. Just the way he is also, and also his dedication, and I think that's a huge compliment because it's the dedication and the focus to the moment and the shot. But of course, he is his own person. He sings so beautifully. So also Vasan and I would discuss this all the time, is he's actually an old soul. I mean, I would think I am some old soul and all that, but actually quite the contrary, Vedang, who is younger than me, is really, he's 60. His soul is very sort of deep rooted and sort of centered, and he's got a lot of depth within him, which I think will really take him very far when it comes to all the scenes of drama and stuff.
So you had fun, basically.
I had a great time.
And he sings like a dream. So Phulo Ka Taroka and the title song of Jigar has been sung by Vedang himself.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's been sung himself. Like this is, and his voice, he doesn't need that auto tune. He just sings. He's he's just with his
one
heart.
expression he gave with what little you've shown us in the trailer teaser. So there was his expression. I think he's being beaten up in jail, and
oh
I was
God,
like,
that's one of his
so
best
that's
moments.
actually. It's really tough.
It's very hard.
Ask me about it, because RRR, when I was being flogged, I understand how tough it is to actually give an expression to
where you're going through pain.
It's too hard.
It's tough. And I just saw that and I was like, wow.
Actually, when you see that moment, that particular moment where he's being, and we can't say where and how that happens, but like when he's being hit, like it's his best moment according to me in the film. Like it's his best moment, and it was shot much later, but it was like you can feel his pain, like it's coming, it's piercing through.
No, actually no day has been an easy day for him. So whenever he was shooting his things and we would meet after a couple of days, and I was like, he said, honestly, it's been really tough. Because he really has given a lot to the film, a lot. And when I saw the film for the first time, I just called to tell him that listen, I'm so grateful that, that I got to work with you as an artist and see the amount that you give. I feel like that will really amount to something, some energy between the two of us. I feel very, I don't know, it's very sort of blissful moment to see an actor really give. There's something very innocent and pure about it. Without making it sound too pseudo-intellectual or anything, it's just about giving, when you give your heart. So yeah.
So we talked about his singing. we know that you have done your, of course, it wasn't dubbed by you, but your lines in Telugu as well in RRR.
Yeah.
Now, I think that you could sing us a little tiny bit from.
From
Oh, by the way,
Chittamale.
Devara.
I wanna ask you this. Oh, you know she dubbed for RRR
She dubbed
in
I know.
Telugu.
Yeah.
No.
No, she didn't.
No?
No.
I
You did?
dubbed, but it didn't get taken.
But yeah, but
It didn't make it.
I would say let's make Alia dub for Jigra for Telugu.
Oh, yeah, we should. We
Are you
should.
releasing Jigra in Telugu?
We want to.
You
And
should,
what
and
do you
let her
think?
dub for
What
it.
do you think?
Let her do it. Let her try.
But do you think not that she should dub, but maybe should the film be dubbed?
Yes.
You've seen it. That's what I want to ask
I
you.
think emotion works in all languages, sir.
Yeah.
Emotion, drama, and
Because we did
seeing
get,
what
we got, like,
seeing
you know,
what I
had-
saw yesterday. I mean, like when the trailer
Yeah.
released, I think you should
because
not stop
Rana
from.
called me and said the same thing.
Yes, you
know,
should.
He called me.
You
he said,
should,
He said,
and-
I hope you're dubbing the film in Telugu.
And yes, and a lot of them, everybody love her,
Yeah.
and I think you should let her explode into the south also.
Biting my nail.
I think you should.
Biting her nails in
Biting my
stress.
fake nails.
So let's digress and distract and sing.
I think you should.
Yeah, I think you should sing.
I think you should.
Chittamale?
Huh.
Chuttamale. Chuttamale is a blockbuster song from Devara, and I know that you've been singing it a little bit. I've been hearing you humming it. That's why. Are you rehearsing, Alia?
Just trying to get the words right.
Tuntari?
Tuntari.
చుట్టమలే చుట్టేస్తాంది ఆ చుట్టేస్తాంది చుట్టమలే చుట్టేస్తాంది ఓ అరరరే
my God.
చుట్టమలే చుట్టేస్తాంది తుంటరి చూపు ఊరికే ఉన్నడు కాసేపు
Wow. I told you she should dub.
If
should let her
I've done
dub.
anything wrong, I'm sorry. I literally just learned the song
You were
yesterday.
fabulous.
Yeah, but
But I've
that's
been
why.
listening to this song on repeat.
But it's a
No,
great song.
but it's still tough to like get the pronunciations right, and she was spot on.
We have both.
Clap.
We have well
Please
done,
clap.
Alia.
Please
Clap, 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 clap. Well done. This is quite a singing brother-sister duo, I have to say. Dono ga sakte hain, bhai behan, which is fantastic. All right, we have Devara releasing at a theatre near you on the 27th of September. We have Jigra releasing at a theatre near you on the 11th of
11th of
October.
October.
Two films, 2 weeks apart. I'm so happy to be producing Jigra, to be presenting for Hindi, Devara. And I just want to end this by asking you, I know that there is massive expectation. Look at the buzz online. You have the highest pre-sales in North America already. The buzz is just going crazy. The advances opened a month before to like shattering records. Obviously, that's a huge indication of the opening. We all know that. But what is that one thing that you think an audience doesn't know they're going to get from Devara?
Oh, nice. Good
Oh,
question.
there. You know the story, obviously.
Yes. Oh, I know. I
Oh
know.
yeah, you know.
And I was like, yesterday we were talking about it when we were watching the trailer, and he started saying things loud. I said, "Shh, you're giving away. You're giving away." And one person should not know because there are some parts.
So
that
there are some
nobody
parts
knows.
of the movie which are better hidden.
Yeah.
Because it's the experience you need to go through when you watch Devara. And I really want. I'm vouching for the last 40 minutes especially.
Yes.
And I'm vouching for that last 10 minutes of Devara.
Yes.
The emotional ride the audiences are going to
I can't
go
hold
through.
When
I'm just
When
waiting
I
for
heard
that.
the narration,
Jeez.
it's that last,
Oh yeah.
not even 10, the last
I know, the
5
last
minutes.
5 minutes.
And I'm like, I went like that. Like, you know, like, I was like, what? Like, it literally, it goes like that. And like, I can't wait for the audience to
I
experience
really
that.
want them to experience that.
Yeah, that's going to be magical. I ask you the same.
too much suspense and intrigue and all. So exciting.
I ask you the same.
Oh,
What is
what?
the one thing that you think an audience is not expecting, or from whatever they may have seen in our communication so far?
Oh,
I know that they've seen the emotion,
yeah, I think I was going to say the emotion
but that they've seen.
they've seen.
What
little bit of
can I tell
action.
you? Can I complete that for you?
I think the audacity.
Yes, that's exactly. It's an audacious film.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for these two releases. I'm so grateful that we were able to do this collab.
Yeah.
So much. It was so nice. It was fun.
This literally, like you worded, this
Yes.
beautiful crossover
Beautiful
between
crossover.
Devara and Jigra, and we can't wait for you to see Devara, and we can't wait for you to see Jigra, because I've
I'm
had
here.
the privilege of seeing both.
We will probably, celebrate Jigra's release
Yes.
with Devara's super success.
Yes.
Oh, how
And then we'll continue that success with Jigra's.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let it be a full
So
month,
we're
1 month
we're
celebration.
partying in October.
Yes,
basically.
we are.
We're partying,
We are.
all right.
All throughout October, we are partying.
All
Two,
right.
two, two. Fingers crossed.
Muh mein ghee shakkar, like we
Yeah.
say. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Alia.
sir.
Thank you for
Thank
being in
you.
conversation.
Thank you,
For everyone
Karan.
watching this, Devara and Jigra both are releasing very, very soon. Devara releases at a theatre near you on the 27th of September worldwide. Jigra releases at a theatre near you 11th October worldwide. Thank you for watching.